Hi boys and girls. So I switched it up a little. I put on the story for you guys. Somebody else is reading it. I'm sure you're probably tired of my voice. So someone else is reading you the story in a completely different tone than me, and hopefully you enjoyed it. But it's the same story I read to you yesterday. So if you're not tired of hearing my voice, you can hear me reading it instead. One of the things that we really didn't get a chance to learn about as much was problem and solution. And we touched base on it a little, like we did discuss it a little here and there, but nothing that we really had to dig and write about as much. So here's the chart. I just made you guys this thing. So characters typically have a problem in a story, and the problem has to do with change, fixing something, or figuring something out, right? And it's usually at the start of the story is when we see a problem, okay? And the story that we just read, there's definitely a problem in here, right? And we talked about it, but now I want you guys to talk about it a little bit more and write about it. So the next thing after there's a problem, there has to be some kind of a solution. A solution is a way that the problem is solved and there's no longer a problem. You get rid of the problem because you solve it, right? So solution is the way a problem is solved or fixed, how the character solves the problem, and the problem is solved by the end of the story. Okay, so the problem is typically resolved by the end of the story. Somebody could be clever and figure out how to solve it. In this story, there was somebody clever and figured to figure out how to solve the problem. So what I want you guys to do is, I want you guys to take out your writing journals, and I want you to use the words problem and solution and write me a sentence or two about the problem in the story and a sentence or two about the solution in the story. Okay? We did something similar that you had to write about, but you had to talk about the little chick being, there was a question about the little chick. I don't want to give away the answer to problem and solution, but so you did do something similar to it, but right now I want you guys to actually write about you use the word in your sentence that says problem. The problem in the story was. The solution in the story was. Who solved the problem? Okay, so I'm going to write these 3 questions for you on your classwork assignment page for you. It will be under classwork for reading comprehension. So I want you guys to answer that question. And then I also have a homework for you for reading comprehension. You're going to read a story. It's in your Reader's Writer's Notebook, and it's on page 507. Okay, so I am giving you reading comprehension homework today. And you're going to read the story and then answer to each question that it asks you. Don't forget, guys, how do we do this? I usually tell you, read the questions first, then read the story, then go back to the questions, and then if you need to try to go back and spot the where to find the answers if you still can't figure it out, you just keep reading the question and going back into the story, reading the question, going back into the story. This is how you figure the answers out. You have to pay attention to details. You have to pay attention. Sometimes things are not exactly spoken. Like you have to read a little between the lines. We talked a lot about reading between the lines. They're not telling it to you, but you could figure it out by the information they're giving you. So please answer these questions, okay? And you will identify the characters, the setting, the problem and solution in the story, in this particular story on page 507. And I want you guys to work on that. That is your homework. And like I said, for classwork, you're just going to answer the 3 questions that I'm going to post and submit them when you're done. Good luck.